Thank you.
All right, thanks for everyone tuning in. This is Interviews with the Runner Washington, Keenan Gray, as always, here. Today we have catching up with Whatcom's new head cross-country coach, Jay Sloane. He currently is now going to be the new coach at Whatcom. It's a new program recently just developed by Danny Day, the new athletic director at Whatcom, and Jay kindly joins me today to talk about the program a little bit. So, Jay, how's it going?
Good, good. Thank you for having me on your program.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jay, let's first start off with the kind of the elephant out of the box or cat out of the box. The whole coronavirus pandemic. How are you dealing with it right now?
It's definitely making things a little bit more challenging beginning a new program. Luckily, with a lot of good relationships with local coaches and student athletes, I've been able to contact quite a few people via phone and via video. Not quite the same thing as being able to meet in person, but just taking a little bit more time to get a hold of people. But it's still kind of figuring out ways to work around what we're dealing with right now.
Looking back at your most recent coaching stint, which was at Nooksack Valley, you were able to take your boys team back to the state meet for the first time in almost a decade. And then the girls qualified 3 athletes. So can you kind of just give a background of what that season was like for your boys and girls?
Sure. Yeah, very exciting on both sides. The boys have been trying to make it back to state, as you said, for 10 years. I was at Mount Baker for some of those years, but I know it's been on their mind ever since I've been at Nooksack. And just a very, very motivated, dedicated group that worked extremely hard, peaked at the right time, ran fantastic at districts or by districts to get out, and just had an amazing season. And they really, really worked well together as a team. So it was, very, very exciting to see on the boys' side. On the girls' side, 3 that made it, ran great. The team was very, very close, and some disappointed kids that should hopefully make it there in the next fall. But just overall, very, very, fun season, good season. Kids worked extremely hard to get where they got.
Now, this has been a work in progress for, I think, at least 2 years now through Whatcom Community College. When you first heard about the position at Whatcom, was your initial thought, I'm going to go apply for this?
To be quite honest, I kind of went back and forth. I love coaching at the high school level, so I had to kind of weigh all my options. I live in Everson, so it's been enjoyable to work with a local team. Mm-hmm. So I kind of weighed the different things, but given my years of coaching, I was ready for a new challenge. I do coach privately, including some people that close to making Olympic trials and kind of building that too, but I was also ready for the college experience. So after I thought about it for a little while and kind of weighed the pros and cons, I decided it was definitely something that I wanted to pursue.
So you go and pursue it, you go through the interview process, you meet with Danny Day. What was that like, and what the interaction between you two?
Well, I met him at the second interview. So the first interview was when we were still allowed to meet in person. So we had a group interview with some of the people working at Whatcom. It went well. And then I was called back in for the second interview. Of course, that was done via Zoom. Mm-hmm. Very, very positive experience. Everyone I've talked to so far has been very, very encouraging. I've met, I think, all the other Whatcom coaches through Zoom meetings, and very, very welcoming and really wonderful people.
So kind of tell us what your goals are for this program. Obviously, this being a new program, and you're going to have to start from the bottom and build from the top, because you won't be able to, let's be honest, you won't be able to compete with Spokane Falls in the first couple of years because how much competitors and how deep they are. But what can we expect from Whatcom in the first year?
Well, I guess I have a short-term and a long-term goal. I do see us competing with Spokane in the next few years. You're right. It's going to take a little while to get to that level, since they're a program that's been around for a long time, and they have a very, very solid, strong program. First year, like to have good numbers. I'm hoping for 10 to 15 men, 10 to 15 women at this point. Be competitive with the local teams. Within the next couple of years, like I said, I'd like to be competing with the top community colleges. And I think given the talent we have locally between Whatcom, Skagit counties alone, we could easily build a very, very strong program that I think the student athletes have needed for a while, versus having to go down to Everett if they wanted to stay at a community college. It's great to have something that can keep them local. And then I've also had some interest out of some student athletes out of Oregon, and talking to a few people out of California in addition to that. So I think it's something that, again, I think if it wasn't for what we're dealing with now, I think right out of the gate, we'd have an extremely strong program. I think, dealing with what we're dealing with right now, it may take a year out to kind of build a program that I'd love to see for Whatcom, and I feel that we'll have.
And then for the long-term goal, obviously you want to build into this program that does compete with Spokane, but in saying you're still coaching, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years from now with this program?
I mean, again, we should be a powerhouse in 5 to 10 years. I plan on staying. The plan is to continue building it. We'll have the reputation that we'll have in the next year or so, and I think we'll just keep drawing more and more kids. I mean, to be able to compete and run in Whatcom County, there's not really a better place to be able to train. I know everyone says Eugene, but I went to University of Oregon, and I think we have better training available to us in Whatcom County than I did in Eugene, between the trails and the roads and everything we have that we can easily access from the community college.
You were able to pick up your first recruit on the girls team. And in fact, you coached her for all 4 years of her high school career. And that's Alice Harlan, who recently was just in the National Guard, but now she's coming back to be running cross country for you. What was the process talking with her about it and to have her come back into Whatcom County?
Sure. Well, when I've been going through trying to come up with who potentially would want to run for Whatcom, of course, her name came up pretty quickly. And I've been talking to her, kind of coaching her a little bit when she's been in the National Guards. So I know she was considering going to University of Washington. So I contacted her when she was still in Texas and just talked to her about her plans. And she was a little bit undecided at that point between Whatcom and University of Washington. We spoke a little bit more. She thought about it a little bit more and committed to Whatcom. And it's just, the opportunity to coach her again. I figured somewhere down the road, I'd probably get an opportunity to help her out through some road races and stuff. But the opportunity to work with her at this level was just something I didn't think I'd have. And it's extremely exciting, to take someone with her ability to push through what she pushed through, again, to go from where she was freshman year to winning the state title 4 years later was just something that I had never seen in an athlete before. So, I'm really, really excited to see what she could do through this program.
And knowing you, Alice is, at least for the girls' side, Alice is the type of girl you want the type of girls you want in your program, because they are hardworking individuals. And would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I enjoy assisting anyone that's wanting to come out and run and improve if they're dedicated. I enjoy working with them. Again, the more work someone puts in, the better they're going to get. And Alice is a great example of that. Came in with what she was running as a freshman and made those improvements. But again, that's through dedication and hard work. So yeah, those are the student athletes that are definitely enjoyable to work with.
And then on the boys' side, you pick up a Skagit County local from Cedro, or not Cedro, he's from Cedro, but he went to Burlington Edison and Carson Lee. Not necessarily he never participated in the state meet, but he's someone that you can develop into a runner. So what did you see out of Carson?
A lot of dedication. I spent some time, he filled out some paperwork, reviewed that, spent some time with him on the phone, and you could just tell that he has a strong desire to improve, that he loves to run, that he seems to be very, very coachable. Spoke with his high school coach, who had nothing but positive things to say about him, and through my interactions with him, I think he's going to be a great addition to the team, and just be a very, very hard worker. And I think he's going to really, really improve through his next year.
Awesome. What makes you think you're a good fit for this Whatcom position? Obviously, with Danny Day hiring you, he must see something. We've worked together as coaches before, and we've connected. And I understand what your coaching philosophy is, and tell us what makes you a great fit for Whatcom.
Sure. Well, I coached for 20 some odd years, officially, and even more than that, kind of unofficially. And really, through the years of my coaching experience, I think really learned a lot about coaching and how to coach individuals. And I really look at coaching as an individual student athlete versus just kind of throwing the same program at everybody. And I know there's some big programs that kind of feel they're going to throw the same thing at everybody. Certain people will react well to it, certain people won't. And to me as a coach, I strongly believe in a very individualized program based on a person's needs. Some people can handle mileage and less speed workouts. Some people can handle less mileage and more speed or whatever. So I think, you really, really do need to take that individual and help them become as good as they can be. And I feel like I've, through my years of experience, can do that very, very well.
Mhm.
And plus for my love for running, my passion for running, I've been a runner all of my life, although not quite as fast as I used to be, as things hurt a lot more in my late 50s than they used to, but that happens. So yeah, I'm just very, very passionate about the sport, and I really, and just, I think just a great fit to build a new program.
Before going forward into the collegiate level, what's the one thing you will miss about coaching these high school athletes? I mean, you had a ton of success at Nooksack when you were there for 7 years, but specifically Mount Baker, you had the most success. I mean, you were part of 3 state championship teams in cross country with the girls, boys state championship in track and field, and then coached multiple individual athletes. Again, what's the one thing you're going to miss most about coaching the high school level?
Um, you know, I would say probably taking potentially that new runner and then watching them get excited about a new sport. I mean, I think I'll still have some of that at a community college level, because I think there'll be some people that come out and maybe new to running or fairly new, or at least new to competition. But I think, it may be a little hard to not kind of take that brand new runner and then watch them progress for those 4 years. I think would be the biggest thing that I would miss.
And then your fondest memory of coaching high school, and it can be like I said, those 3 state championships you won with the girls back in '99 through 2001, or with Dylan
But
winning a cross country state title as a boy individual.
it's hard to only pick one. I could pick a lot. I mean, there's so many amazing memories through the years. I mean, it'd be very, very difficult just to name one of those. There's definitely been quite a few that have brought tears to my eyes as I've watched them. But and those are tears of joy, not of sadness. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can name a handful, but it'd be really, really hard to just name one at this point. So if you wanted a few, I can name those, but it would be hard.
Go ahead. Name your top 3 fondest memories from coaching high school.
I mean, definitely watching student athletes win state titles is an amazing feeling as a coach, especially for a few that kind of really overcame some serious injuries to do that. Watching teams make it to state is just, that teams that are kind of underdogs not to make it and watch them make it to state was an incredible feeling. And I'd say just generally just watching some of these student athletes improve, where you see that kind of that excitement in their eyes when they just run a big PR. So I mean, I guess I'm kind of generalizing it, but they're just so, over 20 years of those memories. It's there's so many, but really it's just, to me, it's watching those big improvements in the kids that is probably the most exciting, because you just kind of see that change, and just that excitement when they're kind of not sure about the sport of running, and all of a sudden it's like something clicks and like, wow, this is a really cool sport, which it is.
Any information you want to share for those, because this is going to be on YouTube. People will have questions. What is one way that people can contact you? And then what's one thing you could say to the Whatcom community that you're looking forward to the most this fall?
Sure, thanks. First of all, yeah, I would love anyone that's interested in more information or possibly interested in running for Whatcom to contact me. My email address is letter J, and then Sloane, SLOANE, @whatcom.edu. And that's the easiest way to reach me. And then if you send me an email, I'd be happy to email you back and set up a phone meeting with you. And then if there's any issues with that, then I'm sure you could contact Keenan and he'd be happy to pass on my information too. But I just want to let people know that, this is a really, really exciting opportunity for those of you just out of high school. Even I know some people that have had contact me that have been out of high school for a few years already, continue to run, but never went to college, or maybe just went to college for a year. Again, that's still, if you haven't used 2 years of cross-country eligibility, you're still eligible to run at a community college. And I also understand with what we're dealing with now, some people's plans are changing, where they may have had everything set for the fall, and then dealing with what we're dealing with, they may want to make some changes. So again, it's never too late to make those changes. So again, if you'd like to know about options, we do have scholarships available. So I'd be happy to talk to individuals about what we have available for them.
And then before we go our separate ways, this is a predominantly high school page website. With the cancellation of spring sports, what's one thing you can tell the class of 2020 just to keep their spirits up, because some of them are not going to be they're not able to compete anymore. And who knows if they're going to compete at the college level.
Yeah. Um, I know it is a very difficult time for everybody, and especially seniors. I know I've had quite a few conversations with seniors that are very disappointed to lose their senior season. And as hard as it is, I think even if you're not going to run for college, there's always, running could always be in your life. There's plenty of road races that will be starting up again, hopefully by the fall. And there's plenty of open track meets to run as they open up again. So again, if you're not planning on running collegiately, there's always opportunities to continue to train. And that's the wonderful thing about running. You put on your running shoes and you head out the door. So as hard as it is right now, kind of we're all dealing with this together, and we will all get through this together.
I'm still disappointed by the fact that Whatcom didn't get a program when I was in school over there. So
Yeah.
I wish
I
wish
to have you on the team.
I wish I could have the opportunity to run for you, Jay, because I know you're a great coach, and I know you're going to do great things for Whatcom in the coming futures. So I really appreciate you coming on here, talking with me a little bit about this program in the making, and just stay safe. And I hope you have a great rest of your quarantine time that we're all in right now. So
Thank you. Thank you. And I did think of one other thing, if I just wanted to throw out is, I know some people have asked me, because right now Whatcom does not have a formal track program that may come down the road. And some people have questioned me, what are they going to do during the spring? So I have quite a few options with that. One is to run kind of more as a club and still train and go to a lot of the meets. The other option is some people have approached me and said they prefer running road races, so I'd help train them for 10Ks or half marathons on the road. So there are still quite a few options that we have in the spring, even though we will not have a formal track program in the springtime.
Well, hopefully you do get a track program, because this is a great place to train, and the weather we're having right now is perfect, which I'm upset that we can't compete in it because it's so great outside right now. But once again, Jay, I really appreciate your time coming on here, talking a little bit. Like I said, stay safe and stay healthy, and hopefully we can get all through this and we can have a fall season for those signees that are going to be Orca's next fall. So
thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. This has been Jay Sloane, the newest head coach at Whatcom Community College for cross country for both boys and girls. He joined me today on The Runner Washington. You can visit my website at www.therunnerwa.com to view this full interview, or as well on YouTube on my YouTube page. And just check it out on Instagram. You can check it out at @therunner_wa. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.